What's up, YouTube? We're back. We got the car on the lift for the first time. Looking at what we've got. Check out this exhaust. She's clean, boys. That would be our exhaust leak. So I think what we're gonna do is cut it all out and go in with new, add a couple resonators in the center. And Travis got us a couple O2 sensors. We're trying to get these ones out. But for the most part, she's pretty clean.
Yeah, boy.
It's not bad as far as Michigan rust goes. So let's start peeling this thing out and we'll get moving. The plan to quiet this down, I'm going to weld these resonators together. We'll have a double resonator down through the center. When we bought that Audi to pull the engine out and scrap it, it had those on it. We're going to reuse them. And apparently when you buy O2 sensors for this car, the wires are 4 feet long. And literally you only need 16-inch. So he's working on that. I am going to start welding those together, so then I've got my length of pipe and I can start designing what it is I'm going to put in there. I think I've got it figured out. We're coming in. I reused a lot of the pipe. A lot of it was still solid. I mean, it was new at some point. So we cut it there. I welded the resonators together. I ended up having to cut the 2-inch flange off of the resonator and shrink it 4 inches. So we got a big weld there. And then right here, I am welding this. I got to try to get up around the top there. And we've got this big straight pipe here. If it's still too loud, we will put something in right there. We've got more than enough room to put something else there. But I think these 2 resonators are gonna do the trick. I hope, we'll see. It's gonna be a butt weld, but I'll turn the heat down. We'll go through, make a pass, and then I'll crank it up and make another pass, I think. We've got a mess going on, but I think we've got it for the most part. I want to start it and hear it before I do anything else. I need to add one more hanger if this is going to be how it is. It's in there pretty good, but this hanger here has seen better days. So if I've got to cut this out and put something in here, it's going to change my hanger situation anyway. So I'm not going to bother right now trying to do too much work in case I've got to change it anyway. So I'm gonna bring it down, start it up, and hopefully those 2 resonators did the trick. We're about to see.
Fire roll.
Definitely a lot quieter.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds way better. Damn, that sounds good. Sweet, that makes me happy. The exhaust sounds good. It's not obnoxious. Now I think the front end has to come back off. So the alternator's not charging. It's way up in there. I've tried to get to it. I thought maybe the plug didn't snap on right, but it's just not charging. And you can hear the alternator clicking. So there's something wrong with it inside there. I'm going to drain this coolant again, pull this front end off. Finally, a car manufacturer did it right. Nice and easy. The nozzle points straight down, which is awesome. So I'm going to let that drain. That's the absolute bottom, so I should be able to get all of it out without spilling any this time. I hate cleaning up spills. And that stuff's extremely expensive, so I'm reusing it. Front end is off again for the 100th time. I didn't film it because, well, You've seen me do it 5 times. We're gonna get it right this time. We think the plug to the starter wasn't plugged in. The little tab that holds it on is broken, not holding it on. So we're trying to rig it so that we can test it. We're gonna get it on there tight so that we know it's tight. I've used lift spacers to plug the coolant lines so that we don't throw out a bunch of coolant. We want to start it and know that that's plugged in to confirm the alternator's not working. If it's not, we pull it, have it rebuilt. If it is, we need to devise a plan on holding that wire on. We got the tester ready. We'll start her up and see what it does. All right, let's see if I can get in here. What's weird is we never had a battery light, so I don't understand what that means, but so let's see what it does. It's telling us that we have no front end on the car. All right, let's see if she's charging. Please say 14 volts. No. Bad Alternator. All right, we move forward. And once you know it, one more thing. Looks like it's been broken for a long time. That pretty much goes there. So that could have been that clicking noise. This thing spins and then it gets stuck right there. Then you can get it through it, but it's getting stuck. It's chunky. So we've got to find an alternator. It just seems to be the story with this car, doesn't it? One thing after another, but when it's done, she's gonna be mint. Went to the junkyard Saturday and wound up finding a brand new tensioner and a brand new alternator out of an 06 GTI. Got it here, tried to put the alternator in, it didn't work because this is the pulley that comes on it for the 06 GTI, had a 2.0 T in it. We brought this down to the battery shop to see if they could rebuild it. They couldn't. It had a broken tab anyway. So thankfully we got this back with the old pulley on it. So you can swap alternators around between the engines, 1.8T, Vr6, and 2.0T, but you will have to keep your pulley. So other than that, we've got a brand new alternator, brand new tensioner in there. So it should charge now. It should do everything it's supposed to. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I needed to do before I plug this up, because I'm throwing the front end on and it's staying on, and we're gonna take this thing on a test drive. I wanna see, obviously, is it running good? What's it doing? So you've already seen me put this front end on 2-3 times. I'm not gonna film it. I'll get it on and we'll start this thing up, let it run, and make sure we got all the air out of the coolant, the heat's working, all that stuff, and we can really hear this exhaust. It sounds way better with the double resonator setup, and then I want to figure out a tip. I cut the exhaust back a little bit. We are going to put at least a nicer looking tip on there, something to spruce it up a bit, and see what we got. This thing started off as an $800 blown up car. Rebuilt the motor. Hopefully we come away with a decent car. I am going back to the junkyard. We're going to get a couple fenders, and I was thinking about a driver's door. There's a new Vr6 in the junkyard. It's the complete motor. It's the one I stole a couple parts off this weekend, and I'm thinking about going back and getting that motor and pulling it. It had fresh oil, brand new oil pressure sensor in it, bunch of new parts on it. The coolant crossover pipe was replaced, so they had been in there, and it's had some work done to it. So maybe I will film going to the junkyard. We'll pull the engine out, flip it upside down, pull the oil pan, and if the bearing surfaces are good, we're taking that thing. And just like that, the front end is back on. We're ready to throw coolant in it. But before I button everything up, I want to look into the ABS module and why I've got the blinking brake light, and the scanner says no communication with ABS module. So first things first, I checked the fuses. We do got one blown fuse here. So I search around here I figured there was an unplugged wire. There isn't. And then I found out that there are 3 fuses here, and they go to the ABS module, and one of them was blown. So these 30s here, so I grabbed 3 new 30 amp fuses, pop these in, and let's hope it doesn't just instantly blow another fuse. Then we've got our ABS plug here, which seems to be seated nice and tight. I think I'm going to unhook this battery, let it all reset, and then we'll go turn the key and see if we've got a blinking brake light. All right, let's see what we got. Yeah, it was just that fuse. I still have an ABS light, but it's not blinking. Good deal. It was just a fuse the whole time. That's awesome. I love when that happens. I'm going to top this thing off with coolant and then take it off the lift. Hopefully it's the last time it's on there. I just can't get over with how good this thing sounds. Sounds amazing. I think I fixed the manifold leak. Letting this suck down. No more noises from the alternator. Awesome. Kind of sounds goofy without a tip on there. Let's get her warmed up. Those double resonators took a lot of the pops and bangs away. I just want to bring this thing up to temp. Heat's starting to blow nice and hot. Still need a radio for this thing. I can plug my oil pressure gauge in. I think we're gonna delete this. I got a new oil pressure sensor from the junkyard. Brand spanking new off that VR that's sitting there. I really got to go back and get that engine. Man, it's on the ground. We're gonna take it over to the wash bay. I got my son Bam Bam in here. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, sounds good. Hit the brakes. Let me see if the lights work. Nice. All right. We're gonna pull up right in here over these grates. Look at that thing. Looks so good. I ain't gonna go crazy on it, but it definitely needs to be washed. Thing's filthy. I think I'm gonna take the Aerofresh off and that thick band of black. Not particularly a fan of that. We'll get this thing cleaned up, see how it looks. White. Motor sounds good. This car has come a long way from the $800 jalopy that we bought off the side of the road. It looks a ton better clean. I am going to source some front fenders for it. Other than that, it's pretty rust free. It's a very clean car. And that's what I like about Volkswagens in Michigan is they don't rust like American cars do. Most cars in Michigan look like that. I don't know what Volkswagen does differently, but I love it. And you have to stick around and see what we do with this car. We're thinking about possibly painting it. We're also thinking about posting it and selling it. Fresh rebuilt 0-mile motor. It's got a full black interior swap. It's a 2-door GLX Vr6, so it's worth some money. We could even trade up if we tried, but we're still tossing around ideas. If you want to see what we do with this car or see the next project, you have to come back. Peace.